I got an idea. You know, a lot of people know about Gulf Shores, they know about Orange Beach, and they know about Fort Morgan. But Baldwin County has just tons of other neat towns and people. Like Magnolia Springs, Foley.
Fairhope, Lillian.
Why don't we go out there and talk to some of these folks, find out what they're about?
I like it. I love it. Let's do it.
What could we call it?
Let's call it John and Susan Tour the Towns.
Let's go take a look.
Let's go.
Okay, folks, John and Susan here, and we're at the home of Zetty and Clarence Bauer, some folks that we've known for, let's see, since the early 70s.
40 years.
Thanks for letting us come in and
Sure, absolutely.
share your knowledge of sea turtles today. We're going to go to the beach after we finish here and just take a small video of the beach, and so that people viewing can relate to what we're saying here with something real. When did you start getting interested in turtles?
Probably we've been doing this about 15 years. I mean, I love turtles and I love wildlife, and so, like I said, about 15 years ago, we decided that we would go to the annual meeting and sign up, and the rest is history.
So there's a club.
Yes, there's a yearly meeting in April where you can go to the, usually it's at the Civic Center, because we have about 350 volunteers.
Really?
Yes, it's a huge organization, because we have people that walk the beach from Fort Morgan to the Alabama point to the Florida line, and we're grouped by miles. You know, like usually about 1 to 1.5 miles per section, except for Fort Morgan, and they have to use an ATV because they've got such a long stretch.
I went online before we came over here and just kind of to get an idea about the whole business of turtle nesting and how it works and all that, and apparently Florida is just covered up.
Yes. Well, this is done from the Texas coast all the way to Florida, up the East Coast. You know, there are turtles going in everywhere. You know, it's not just here. And of course, Florida gets probably the majority of them.
Obviously, it's made a difference.
It has, absolutely, it's made a difference. The program started here in 2005, and that was because the little hatchlings were making their way from their nest to the road on West Beach, and they were getting smashed by cars and whatnot, and people were like, "Oh, what's going on here?" So that's how Share the Beach got started, and the reason the little hatchlings were coming toward the road is the lighting, and lighting is a big issue, and our group has been trying, and successfully we have gotten people like the Hangout to have turtle-friendly lighting. There's a city ordinance now for turtle-friendly lighting, and we're trying to get condos to come online, and so there are people that are working on that all the time.
That's great. Are they federally protected?
They are federally. They're an endangered species.
They are?
They are, yeah.
Thousands of them there are, it's still endangered.
Yes. Only 1 out of 1,000 make it to maturity.
Really?
Yes.
1 out of 1,000.
Yes.
So a lot of that could be once they're in the water, just because they're...
Yeah, they're only this big.
Right.
So once they're in the water, seagulls snap them up, of course fish snap them up. They're really, until they can swim to the, there's like a big mat of seaweed, and sometimes it's 30, 40 miles out, until they can swim out there and get in that seaweed, then they have a better, chance of making it.
What do they eat?
They're pretty much vegetarians. They'll eat, I think they eat seaweed, and another danger to them are plastic bags. They eat jellyfish, and they'll ingest a plastic bag, and that gets in their intestines, and they can't digest it, and that'll kill them.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk about the tracks and how to recognize the tracks and all that. Let's say somebody watching this video who, like us, doesn't know anything about turtles, happens to see tracks. What do they do?
They have, this is another thing that our organization has done, is trying to get information into all the condos and rental houses. We have little magnets that go on your refrigerator that has a number to call on Share the Beach.
If you see any.
If you see, or you can call the police and they'll call Share the Beach. So that's another way to get it done. But another danger that's good for tourists to know is that everybody wants to come to the beach and dig a big hole. And I'm talking like big holes, like sometimes they're like 3 feet deep, And if a turtle comes in and gets in that, she can't get out, and so she'll be trapped until a volunteer comes by and sees her, and then, it's an ordeal to get her out.
What about?
So we would like them to cover them up. Go ahead and dig your hole, then cover it up before you go to, leave.
And the hatch time, once they lay the eggs, how long before the little turtles try to get out?
It's anywhere from say 50 to 65 days. And I thought this was interesting. Cool sand produces more males, and warm sand produces more females. So we say hot chicks and cool dudes.
Is there a season?
Yeah, it starts May 1st and goes to the end of August 31st. So someone's walking the beach every day. There's a certain time period between when the turtle comes in to lay her eggs, and loggerheads, which is mainly what we have, they lay at night. The turtles hatch at night generally, and the mother lays them at night.
You'll find them more.
So that's why it's important for us to walk the beach like at 5:30 a.m. And then when you find them, you have like until about 9 o'clock to decide whether we have to move the nest or not move the nest or whatever.
And then you like stake it to mark it?
Yeah, we would stake it off, to warn everybody. This is a turtle nest. We've got signs that's federally protected, and there's a big fine if you mess it up.
What other species
We
here?
have greens and Kemp's Ridley. And the Kemp's Ridley, we usually have 1 or 2 nests of Kemp's Ridley, and they lay during the day and they hatch during the day.
How many eggs do they lay?
Anywhere from 100 to say 120.
And 1 out of 1,000, maybe.
Yes. So we have years where we may have 5,000 or 6,000 eggs laid, and but only 1 out of 1,000 is going to make it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, I got another question.
Okay.
All right, so when you find the nest, you mark it, and then what? I mean, is that something you still just go in the morning?
Well, the daily patrol people always go and look, because we have a predator screen we put down first to keep the coyotes, the foxes, the dogs, any other critter that might want to dig it up. So that keeps them from digging.
Yeah.
And we have a predator screen that we put on first, and then we mark probably about 3 or 4 feet outside that, with our little tape, and stakes and whatnot, to keep people from getting too close. Share the Beach is under the Alabama Coastal Foundation, which the Alabama Coastal Foundation is under the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. So, and we have wonderful marine biologists that are on staff with the AFC, and they help. They're phenomenal. They come to our nest hatchings and anything that we have that we might need them for it. They're so knowledgeable. They're awesome.
We'll probably go to somewhere around the hangout, somewhere where we get a nice view of the beach. Would there be turtles coming ashore there to deposit eggs, or just
They don't have that many. They do have a few during all these years, and they have had a few, but the majority of the nests are laid in Fort Morgan. Down the Fort Morgan Peninsula, because there's just less activity down there, so they like that.
Well, thanks again for sharing your knowledge with us.
You might have some things to add that we didn't think to ask.
Just the main thing that we would like, that we're trying to get out, is the lighting. If you're a tourist and you're here, turn your porch lights off at night. And if you dig holes, fill them up.
Okay.
And if you come upon a nest, either call the police, or if you don't have one of these little magnets on your refrigerator, for Share the Beach, and they'll come let you know.
What if somebody wanted to get involved?
They would need to come to the yearly meeting in April, and that's where once we're all trained. Are the trained? You have to go to the monthly meeting. You decide which area you want to go. You want to go to Orange Beach, West Beach, Fort Morgan, wherever you want to volunteer for. And once you decide which team you want to be on, then that leader calls you and says, "We're have training, this day and this day," and so you have to be trained. It's highly regulated.
Gotcha.
That's terrific.
Once the training is done, it's kind of hard to get in until the next year. We have a website. You go to sharethebeach.com and you can find out a wealth of information, see lots of nice pictures and of crawls and of hatchings and a lot of information.
Sharethebeach.com.
Sharethebeach.com, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zetty.
Welcome.
Hey, John and Susan here. We're at the beach. You're getting ready to get a little bonus geography lesson for those of you that are challenged in that regard. We're facing south. We're on the Alabama Gulf Coast. That's the Gulf of Mexico right out there. If you get a boat, you go that direction for 480 miles, you'll be in Key West. Go about 120 miles further, you'll be in Havana, Cuba. If you go straight south for 600 miles, you'll be in Cancun. And if you're in a boat and you go that direction, southwest, for about 120 miles, you'll run aground on the Louisiana coast, right down below New Orleans. So that's your geography bonus lesson for today. Also, this is where sea turtles come and lay their eggs. All along the Gulf Coast, all along the Atlantic coast. It's amazing how many sea turtles come and lay their eggs.
Each year, I'm reading this from a website that is, the name of the website it's Share the Beach, I'm sorry, is what the website is called. Each year, just as endangered sea turtles make their way to the white sand beaches of Alabama shore to nest, hundreds of volunteers gear up for another season of Share the Beach activities. Alabama's sea turtle nesting and hatching season runs from May through October. The objectives of the Alabama Coastal Foundation Share the Beach program are to mitigate human-related impacts to sea turtles, especially the effects of artificial light pollution, to monitor sea turtles' nests and hatchings on the Alabama Gulf Coast, and to promote the conservation of sea turtles in Alabama through public outreach education.
Well said, Susan.
Thank you.